There are two magic buttons that you can press on any Facebook ad campaign that could potentially make it significantly better without changing your ads or doing anything else. In this video, I'm going to show you the first one. Let's get on it. Seriously, dude, a magic button that's going to make your Facebook campaigns work better? Really? And the answer is sort of. It's not a magic button. It's a drop-down menu. But magic drop-down menu doesn't sound cool. So magic button sounds cooler, but still, it's literally you're just clicking one thing from a drop-down menu, and it can make your campaigns work like a gazillion times better. So without further ado, let me just show you how it works. All right, see the screen? This is from a software program that I had custom made for myself because tracking and attribution and running ads was a problem, so I wanted to build something better that I could use. It's called ROAS.org, ROAS.org. If you want to try it, you can. You can try it for free. No credit card needed. It's awesome. All right, so this thing will track how much money that your Facebook and Instagram ads are making. Then it'll automatically scale the stuff that's working, and it'll turn off the stuff that's not. It's really cool, but enough of that. All right. Oh, incidentally, we'll even help you set it up for free. We'll literally get on Zoom with you, set everything up for you. It takes about 10 minutes. Nothing. Charges nothing. You don't need a credit card. Just try it. We think when you use it, you'll love it. So that's why we do all this stuff for free. Anyway, look at the screen. Okay, here's the deal. Despite the fact that I have the two different dates on this thing, I actually created both of these campaigns on Monday, the 9th of May, and they kind of started in the middle of the day. So Tuesday, which was yesterday, the 10th, I'm filming this for you on May 11th, we had our first 24-hour period for these campaigns. These campaigns each have 120 ad sets in them. They're targeting each one of the campaigns. They're targeting the exact same audiences. They're running the exact same ads for the exact same offer. The only difference between these two campaigns is one of them, I clicked the magic button, well, the magic drop-down menu, whatever. I clicked the one thingy, and the other one I didn't, okay? You want to guess which one's the one where I clicked the magical thingy? It's this one, where I spent $670 and I got $1,300 back. That's a pretty good return on ad spend, over double the money, especially for the first full day of the campaign running, especially because this campaign is testing 120 different audiences to see which ones are good and which ones are bad. The first day is not really supposed to make money. You're just trying to find which ad sets are good and then scale those automatically. Anyway, we'll get into that later. But here's the one where I didn't click the magic button, and this one's pretty much closer to normal. On this one, I spent $613. I only made $500. The difference between the two is I clicked one little thing. All right? Now, I'll show you what the one little thing is in a minute, but first let me tell you how it works, because I don't want you to like haphazardly click this one little thing and think it's going to be the answer to everything. I got to kind of make sure you have the foundation set up so this will work for you. Otherwise, it could be disastrous. We don't want that. All right. So most of the time when people run ads on social, like just regular conversion ads, they go in and at the ad set level, they say, okay, what I want you to do over here, Facebook, is I want you to optimize this ad for conversions. I want you to go out, and in this case, get me customers, right? That's like the most common, super simple, super basic way to do it. And, you know, it works really, really well. It's great. When you do that, here's what's going on, all right? So your Facebooks and your Instagram, I'm just going to call everything Facebook. It's easier, okay? So Facebook is going to, that encompasses the entire universe now, all right? It's just simpler. So what Facebook does, let's say you have an audience and, you know, it's got 1 million people in it or whatever, and you say, all right, man, go out and get me customers. And what it's going to do is it's going to do a bunch of stuff. Number one, it's going to look at the copy in your ad. All right, so let's say you're selling something about dog training, okay? And it's going to be like, okay, we need to get customers for stuff about dog training. Then it's going to go to your website. All this stuff is happening, like Facebook's algorithms doing all this stuff. It's really cool. Machine learning, artificial intelligence, all that awesome stuff. There's a jet flying over me. I hope you can't hear it. Let's keep going. Okay, so the machine, Facebook, right when you launch this campaign, it's also going to look at your website, and your website's going to have stuff about dog training on it, and it's going to say, like, there's a dog training course on here for $47 or whatever, and all that's cool. So in this audience right here, let's just say it's people who like dogs, and the audience is like super loud jet, by the way. Love it when that happens. Thanks so much, guys. They planned it. Everything centers around me. I'm that narcissistic. Not really. a bunch of people like dogs, right? It's like a big audience on social media. Like, who knows how big that audience is? Millions of people. So what Facebook is going to do right before like they even start delivering traffic to you and showing your ad to people is they're going to look at your ad. It's going to say something like buy a dog training course. They're going to look at your site. It's going to say there's a dog training course here. It's $27. And because you said get me customers, it's going to like find a little pocket of people within that giant audience. And it's going to say, I'm pretty sure that this little pocket of people, this is where the people that are most likely going to become customers are. And it's going to start showing your ad to these folks, which is great. Like, you know, if we say spend $5 a day or $100 a day on an audience that's of millions of people, of course it's not going to show it to all 20 million people or whatever. So that's kind of how it works. It's using its machine learning and all the data that's gathered on everyone to try to show your ad to the right person. And that's cool. And when you do that, stuff like this can happen, right? So like this was yesterday. It was okay, you know, so like this particular campaign spent 613. It was, you know, day number 1, right? And I'm testing 120 different ad sets. So what happened in this particular one is we had some that worked and some that didn't, right? And that's normal. That's totally fine. If we look at this thing, I'm going to sort this by return on ad spend here. We can see that like some of these audiences were great, you know, like, all right, I'll take this. And we can also see something really, really interesting. And this is very important and it's going to be very, very relevant to whether or not this strategy I'm showing you is going to work for you, okay? So I'm going to show you math and stuff, but it's not going to be too bad, okay? To just give it a second. I'm going to come over here to the app, to ROAS, and I want to add one little thing here, and that's going to be our average order value. So ROAS.org will track your average order value for every sale you make for any given day from any given ad. It's so cool, dude, seriously. Just go there and get a free account. You don't need a credit card. You can try it for a week. If you like it, pay for it later. We will help you set it up. We'll literally get on Zoom with you. It's not a salesperson. It's not expensive. We don't need salespeople. We just want to help you like get results so you'll use this forever, so you'll like it. Anyway, really cool. You're going to like this. So notice I've added this little column now. All right, so I'm going to bring this over here. So check this out. We've got some audiences. These audiences are working. That's super cool. And we've noticed now, some of these folks, right? Like I've gotten one customer, and this one customer, I spent $5.23. Facebook went out and it did a good job. It was like, okay, you know what? Based on your ad and stuff, I'm going to show it to this little group of people. And within this audience of whatever this is right here, Salford Business School, I'm just pulling audiences out of the air. I'm just testing all kinds of stuff because I have this automation tool, you know, so I don't really have a lot of risk when I'm doing it. But it found me a pretty good customer right there, right? That one person spent $135. That's great. All right. Over here, I spent $6. Awesome. For people that are interested in Toulouse Business School, don't even know where that is, whatever, who cares? Got one customer. That customer spent $88. This is all cool, right? So this is a classic example of their thing, going out and just finding customers and everything. And that's really, really good. Now, if you set everything up right, if you use a tool like ROAS, for example, there are other tools that are, well, there's actually nothing on earth that accurately tracks your stats and automates everything for you. We've got the only tool on the planet that does that right now, I think. But there's other stuff that can like send your sales data back to Facebook. And that's what ROAS does as well. So every time somebody buys something, if you're sending the data back to Facebook saying, here's a customer that and they spent this much money, and Facebook is getting that for you, what happens over here is it starts to develop a profile of a person who is a really good buyer. All right. And the more data that you send back to Facebook's algorithm over here, like we didn't even draw it, right? So this is just this is a big server. Let's just pretend I can draw. So this is a big server. Facebook, Meta, Instagram, whatever we want to call it. All right. So we're sending that data back to their machine learning thing. And we're saying, hey, here, these are the types of people that are actually like spending a lot of money. If you pass that data back to Facebook, then you can use the magic button. And then sometimes, not every time, like nothing works 100% of the time, but sometimes you can run a little campaign like this one over here. Okay. Check this out. I promise you I'll show you the magic button in a minute. I just really want you to set this up right so you don't like lose money on your ad test, okay? So you can have something like this one. Now, this is the one that has the magic button, okay? Well, magic drop-down menu, whatever. So if we look at this guy, take a look at this. All right. take a second for the ad sets to come up. Man, that database is fast. My developers and partners are amazing. I had nothing to do with building this. I just was like, it would be really cool if it did this. My job is just words and stuff. It's so cool. I just work with really smart people, and they're like, God, we got to work with this guy. But whatever. Okay, so check this out. I'm going to sort this by ROAS again. Now, this campaign, same ad, same offer, same audiences as the other one, right? So both of them were targeting 120 different audiences and 120 different ad sets. They're showing them the same ads. They're driving them to the same offer, driving them to the web page. This one made like twice as much money as the other one. Why? The answer is here. Look at the size of the average order values here. What's happening is in this particular campaign, because I pressed the magic drop-down menu thingy, Facebook is over here. They're finding me people that spend more money on stuff like what I sell. All right. Now, the reason their algorithm can go out and find those people is because I've been using ROAS, and every time somebody buys something from me, whether they buy it today after clicking an ad or 6 months from now, it's sending that data back to Facebook. And therefore, when Facebook's algorithm says, okay, let's go look in this big old audience of people that like whatever business school that was, well, let's look at the one that's doing well. Mobile advertising, right? So like, I spent $5.56 and it made 76 times the amount of money I spent. Like, that's crazy, right? For mobile advertisers. That's a huge market. So what's going on is it's going, okay, their machine's going, all right. And this giant pool of millions of people who like mobile advertising, we know that there's a particular profile of user that spends a lot of money on this dude's stuff. And now it can target like that right little pocket right off of the bat. And that's exactly what's happening. And the reason it's happening is twofold. Number one, I'm sending the right data back to Facebook, right? So if you don't have something that can send your sales value back to Facebook, like here's how much money it's actually making. If it's not passing it back and training their algorithm, then there's just, like, what are you doing? You have a tremendous disadvantage. Not a lot of people do this, by the way. So like, be cool about it. But if you have it, you have a great advantage because you can make this one little change. Here's the difference. All right. Here's the difference between the two campaigns. Same audiences, same ads, same offer, same budget, same everything. All I did in the other campaign is this. So I'm in that other campaign now. All right. Instead of telling it, I'm still saying, hey, go get me purchases. But down here, instead of saying, remember earlier I showed you, it says optimize for conversion. That's like the default. All I did was click here and I selected value. So what this does, when I say optimize ad delivery for value, it's telling Facebook, okay, I want you to go out and not just get me customers, but get me customers that spend more historically. And that's exactly what it's doing. I literally, one button. Well, it's not a button, it's a drop-down menu. Like, it's not going to let me do it because I've already created the ad, but you get it, right? So otherwise you would have a bunch of other stuff to choose from, but I already published it. So it's a magic drop-down menu. It's not a magic button, whatever, okay? What it's doing is finding me people with money, which is freaking sweet, right? And therefore, if we look over here, the numbers say it all. The average order value per customer is significantly higher in this campaign than the other one, and that's the only difference. All right, it's the only difference. But please, all right, seriously, don't go doing this if you're not tracking everything and you're not passing the data back to Facebook, because you're like saying, okay, go get me people who spend a lot of money, but they're like, well, I don't know who your average person is and what your perfect person is because I don't have any data. Like, you have to feed the algorithm the information. But feeding the algorithm the information is pretty simple. You go to ROAS.org and you click on the button that says create a free account, and you don't enter your credit card because you don't have to enter a credit card to use it when you're using it during the free trial period, and then you set it up and let it rip. Or if you really want to have concierge service, you press the little button that says, hey, set this up for me, and we get on Zoom with you, and we just set everything up for you, and we charge you exactly $0 to do that. Yeah, but that price will double. Damn it, you can't double zero. It's still zero. Oh, well, it's just $0 to do that. You can just get it set up for nothing, right? And you can try it. And if you like it, then you can pay for it later. And if you don't like it, then we'll just disable the account. It's not a big deal. But This is really, really cool. Okay, extremely cool. There's so much more that you can do with these platforms and just running regular old ads, the same things everybody else is doing. So this is one of 2 magic buttons. I'll show you the other magic button in another video. Until then, check out ROAS.org. What are you waiting on? There's no credit card needed. If you're running ads on social media now, use ROAS.org. You will like it, and you'll be like, this is really making me a lot more money, or else you never pay for anything. You don't have to get a credit card to start. It's pretty simple. Okay, enough about that. I hope you found this helpful. Always be testing stuff, and always let the data do the talking. If you're not getting the good data, if you're not getting accurate stats, if you're not actually tracking everything, you're guessing. It's like you're getting in an airplane drunk with a blindfold on and going, well, I hope we make it. Like, don't do that. Okay? Track your stuff. It helps. It works. It's good. Thanks for watching. Take it easy.